Hi, it's Leah, and I've got the French edition of Maria Trolle's colouring book. It translates to Winter Fairy Tale Colouring Book. Now, let's have a look at it up against her previous colouring book, up against the Christmas colouring book, and up against World of Flowers by Joanna Basford. So you can see that it is quite a bit smaller than Joanna's books, and it's also thinner than Maria's earlier books. Now, if you want to see just a quick flip through, just click the link below the video. This one will be testing out some mediums on and seeing how it performs. Now, Winter Fairy Tale Colouring Book is actually based on this book, All the Colours of Christmas. So if you already have this book, you might not want this one. It's up to you. There is a difference though. This, of course, is hardback, and this has just a card cover on it. Now, this book, the French edition, has all of the illustrations in it from this book, but it also has 20 additional illustrations. Now, these are not exclusive, they've been in Maria's previous books. So you can see it up against each other. Now, the other thing that I would mention is that the Christmas colouring book is shipped from Sweden or Denmark at the moment, whereas this one you can purchase on Amazon, which is where I purchased it from. So there is a little bit of a difference there. Now, this has got a card cover, there's no hardback. So we've got this matte card cover. I believe it's smudge proof. It hasn't smudged at all with my mauling of it. And then inside, we've just got a little title page and some information here. Now, the paper does have a slight texture to it, so I can't wait to see how it performs with the mediums that I've selected to go on it. We've got a nameplate page and the foreword as well by Maria. And as you'll notice, the illustrations are double-sided, whereas in the Christmas colouring book, the illustrations are on this ivory paper, which I don't know if you can see the difference there on the screen, but this is bright white, the French one, and the Swedish one is an ivory cream paper, off-white, whatever you like to call it, and the illustrations are single-sided. So let's look through. Now, the first 40 illustrations in this book are from the Christmas colouring book. And then it's been worked out really easily for people like me that are trying to work out the differences. So the first 40, all from the Christmas colouring book. So we've got gorgeous cherries, I think they are. Oh, God, it's just so beautiful. But these illustrations are a lot more simple than Maria's previous works, and I said that previously when I reviewed the Christmas colouring book. Now, I don't mind it because, quite frankly, I find it hard to finish a book, and sometimes the detail can be too much. And I guess it's also picking up on this bold and easy or cozy colouring trend that we have nowadays. But there are things that are a lot more detailed. So I guess we've got a little bit of a range there as well. And some of you are just so clever that you can do all of these gorgeous northern lights and everything and really brighten things up. So I'll be interested to see, what people are doing, and how they're decorating this book or coloring it, because you've got a lot of space there. So if you're good at backgrounds, it's going to be a great one for you, and all the detail. But aren't the illustrations so cute? So we've got smoke coming out of the fire. We've got Christmas, that's my cat. There she is again. She loves playing under the Christmas tree. And we've got cute little gingerbread houses and whatnot. It's so humid where I am that the gingerbread house just goes soggy within a day. And so I'll have to do one in winter. And gorgeous little images. They're really well centered on the page. You could, even do this as a globe. She's put the dotted line around there. Maybe you could make it into a snow globe. You've got the different line art and lines. So these are dots, and then you've got the dull black line art. So it looks really cute with the different sorts of lines. Now, this is the last image from the Christmas colouring book, and these 20 from now on are from previous colouring books that Maria's had that have got a winter or Christmas theme. Now, Maria said that her publisher insisted on that, and they wanted that for this double page Christmas book. So she's added these in. Now, some of you may already have these images if you collect Maria's books, so this would be a duplicate. For me, I believe that some of these are from a couple of books that I may have missed in my collection. So I think I'm getting the images that I might not have, but I'd have to go through them all individually to work it out. Got cute little fairy. The images are just so cute. Lots and lots of cute images. Maria is one of my favorite artists and always has been. And I love this cover art picture. And then this picture of, country versus city. So there's still ice skating. It's just in different things. This one's in New York and this one's in the country. I think it's just so cute. I presume that was New York, by the way, because the buildings look similar to the skyline. Now, aren't these adorable? So there's a little hole in there. I guess there's snow, but I'm not sure. And then we've got this gorgeous one at the end. So all nicely centered on the page, really crisp line art, super easy to see. Then we've got some blank paper, and Maria has kindly provided a space to swatch out our mediums. So I'm using this last page, and it just finishes there. So I'm going to swatch. Now, I'll start with the Copic. We know it's gonna bleed, don't we? I think I think we're onto this, but we'll give it a go. Remember, it is double-sided printing, so it is more than likely going to come through to the other side. We'll try the Tombow marker. Sorry, I've picked up one that's a little dry. I shall use this one instead. Need to take that one out of my rotation. I think I said it the other day too when I did it. It's just that they're the first ones that I grab. So we've got the Tombow there. You can also add water to the Tombow as well. Now we've got the Inktense pencil. So this is purple color. It's really put heaps down. And we've got the Neocolor II. Right, let's add some water and see what happens. Now, the Copic, yep, straight through, red as. The Tombow hasn't come through, and neither of these because they're dry. But let's add some water to the Tombow, which you can do. And we'll see what happens when that dries and if it goes through the page. Oh, the Inktense is lovely. Going on super easy. We'll give it a minute to dry. And that Neocolor II, again, super easy going on, smooth as. Probably put a little too much water on, but while we're waiting for that to dry, we'll do some of the pencils. So I've got some Black Widows here. It's sort of making a little scratchy sound on the paper, but this paper has like a nice little tooth. to it. It's not too much. Now it is blending back in quite easily, but it did take me a little minute. One pencil was sharper than the other to blend that in. Going to go again because I feel like it'll smooth out the tooth a bit more. And yes, that second layer is what's needed to really press down on that tooth. Unless you're a heavier colorer than I am, which of course we all color differently, and what it might look like for me might not be what you have. So Crayola. So I'm happy with the Black Widow. It did take me to get the tooth pushed down though. So the Crayola is going on. I feel like I'm working really hard and that I'm pressing quite harder than I normally would because, not a lot of pigment is coming out. And, if I go soft like that, nothing is happening. So gone in a little bit harder and it is actually causing a little bit of pain for me because I don't usually go hard. Now, blending back though is actually really easy. So I needed to go hard to get that advantage, I guess. Let's try it again so that we could compare apples to apples with the Black Widows. And that second bit is going on a lot easier. Now, of course, we're not getting the pigment that we would with uh, a more artist grade pencil, but it's still pretty good. And on that second layer is when both of those pencils have really come into themselves. Let's see how the Holbein go. I've got two orange ones here. Yeah, going on very smoothly, lots of colour. He is making some scratch marks there, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes when we blend it back. And again, it is making a few scratch marks there. It's not pressing down the tooth as much as I thought it would, but the more I colour back in, the more it is blending. But there are some little white bits showing and some little impressions by the pencil. Let's go again. Now, second layer, I'm strangely feeling like it's worse. It feels like it's not even gripping on the paper. Go again on the lighter side. Okay. Now it's gripping and now the tooth is coming down. But yeah, that first bit was making me think that something was really wrong there. I'm just going to go again and just see what it takes to get this white down. And you might not see that on screen. Yeah, okay, there we go. So maybe you just need to push a little harder than I was with the Holbeins on the paper. So let's try the Faber-Castell Polys. And going on similar to the Holbeins, bit scratchy, and I feel like I'm really holding on tight here on the pencil, and it's actually paining me. So it's an unusual result for me. But anyway, um, going back though, it's very similar to the Holbeins. That's when you see that it's starting to push down. And now here we go on this second layer and pushing down. And it's got something to cling to now because that first layer has provided a surface for it. And it seems to be so much smoother. And I don't need to press down. But we'll just see over here. Okay, now we're going good. But it is leaving little impression marks. So maybe if I took a bit more time and did smaller circles, that might be good, but I'm happy where we ended up eventually. Be interested to see how the wax-based Prismacolors go. Now, this is the student version, the Polychromo, not the Polychromos, the Scholars. So, yeah, I feel like I'm pressing hard here too. Um, these usually are pretty good, and I really like them as a cheap alternative if you can't use the Premiers. But I'm getting the same issue that I've had with most of the pencils, that it's not really pushing down as much as I would have liked, and I am pressing a lot harder than I normally would once I realized that it wasn't really going down. Just on this second layer, I'm doing some small circles here, trying to push down this tooth, and I am pressing harder than I normally would. I usually only do light layers because, first of all, my wrist hurts, and second of all, it's easier to erase your mistakes. Okay, so again, on the second layer, uh, I was happy with that result. So it seems to be everything on the second layer so far. Let's finish off with the Prismacolor Premiers, and we'll see if we get the same result. Now, these are wax-based, and immediately they just glided on, and they're going on very easily. I am not pressing down hard because with the Premiers, usually you do a few layers and everything goes good, but it is actually a lot smoother than the others. Even though there's white space, when they went on smoother without sort of conflicting with the paper, if that makes sense. So blending that in, that's going on very smooth. The s- tooth is starting to go down, but I do think that you might need multiple layers or a blending pencil to get rid of all of it. I'm not going on hard here, but it is blending down the tooth, but it's not as good as I would like it, like not as smooth. I'll just go a little bit harder and see what happens. Yeah, going a little bit harder is actually getting it to where I'm happy and the tooth is pressing down. Yeah. So I think you might need to adjust your pencil pressure that you might use if you're a light colorer like me. If if you are a little bit firmer, you should be fine. But the colors all look great on here, and it's good that it takes multiple layers of color. Now, I just will test this with a Caran d'Ache blender. Let's just see how that Crayola goes with a blender pencil over it. Yeah, that's smoothing out the lines. So if you don't want to do all that effort, just use a blender pencil. And let's see, the Prisma. So we've gone from a hard pencil with the Crayolas to a soft one. And yeah, that has softened down those lines, taken them out. And we'll try it with the polys. So if you don't want to do all those extra layers, just, get your blender pencil on it and save your arm. So there we go. We've got all of these gorgeous colors, and let's see how these wet ones performed. So the Tombow, once I added the water to it, it did go through on the page, but without it, initially, without adding the water, it was fine. Now, the Inktense hasn't ghosted, so neither has the Neocolor, so it's just these marker-based ones that have ghosted through the page. So, I'll just show you so that you can see. And in Julens bargain. We had the same issue, that the Copic, even though I used a very light color Copic there, it still ghosted, and we use the Zig and watercolors, and you can see them under the light, but the color is not actually coming through. You can just see the indentation. But the paper on this book is really lovely as well. But again, always personal preference. So that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy coloring.